This is 100 yards of football. Today, Vincent Turner goes in on a September 3rd scheduled game where the Arkansas Razorbacks are set to play one of the toughest schedules again this season, beginning with a college football playoff participant from last season in the Cincinnati Bearcats. Sliced and diced, and the analysis given to you from the crystal ball of Mr. Football himself, Vincent Turner of 100 yards of football goes in to see if the Razorbacks can keep that streak alive, or rather, if the Bearcats can keep their streak alive on September 3rd. It will be a challenge here on 100 yards of football.
If you like the video today, please come and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. Special thanks to my producer, Mr. Logan Landers, and for the beautiful gentleman with the beautiful voice bringing me up today, Mr. Mark Bass. Well, it's college football, baby. Going back to the hill where I went to school there from 78 to 82. National television. ESPN. The Cincinnati Bearcats taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks. September the 3rd. Lord have mercy. What memories it brings back. Rabid fan base when the Arkansas is winning. Ain't no question about it. 70,000 in Donald Reynolds Stadium. So the Hogs are going to be called that day, and it's going to be hot. So let's talk about the Cincinnati Bearcats coming in taking the Razorbacks. They're going to be the first team I'm going to preview today. When I think about Cincinnati, you got to give credit to Luke Finkel, the Ohio State guy. Think about this. 5 years ago, he took over a Cincinnati program that wasn't even known for football. Only thing you know about the Bearcats is Travis and Jason Kelsey in the National Football League. Travis with the Kansas City Chiefs, Jason with the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's be real here. Football players don't come out of the Cincinnati Bearcats University. They have basketball players, though, Keon Martin and Oscar Robertson. But what he's done in that shorter period of time in 5 years, first year he went 4-8. And the next year, 5 years, he got Cincinnati into the college football playoffs. That's amazing. From a lower Power 5 conference. And then they're going to be going into the Big 12 conference. Luke Finkel took something that's unbelievable. And think about it. The Queen City is rocking now with college football. Cat Williams, Roger Staubach, the Asley brothers, Nicholas Shea. Luke Finkel has got them thinking football, baby. And think about last year. People don't even talk about this from Cincinnati on the national level. Now I'm going to go into the SEC right quick. Tennessee last year, LSU last year, Arkansas last year, Vanderbilt last year, Auburn last year. Well, you know what? Cincinnati sent 9 players in the NFL draft. Luke Finkel has got something special going on in Cincinnati with that Bearcat program. So let's talk about them going into this Arkansas game. They lost a great quarterback. No question about Desmond Ritter, who's right now fighting for the job with the Atlanta Falcons, 3rd-round pick. But that's all right. They got a transfer coming in from Eastern Michigan by the name of Ben Bryant that was with Cincinnati 2 years ago, transferred to Eastern Michigan because he did get on the field, but he decided to come back. Last year, he threw for 3,100 yards. And he's going to be playing behind a veteran offensive line that returns 4 starters. Jack Renfro, Dylan O'Quinn, Lorenzen Merce. Can I say NFL? Then they lost Jerome Ford, who got drafted. Outstanding running back. Last year had over 1,500 yards, but that's all right. Help is on its way. It's coming back home. Corey Conner, transfer from LSU. Roy Bacon High School, Roger Bacon High School in Cincinnati. He had a career when he went over 7,000 yards. So he's coming back home. He didn't like what was going on in the Bayou. And then at the receiver position, they got a transfer coming from Hawaii, and Nick Minard, 6'6", Clyde Drexler, 46 receptions in Hawaii last year, 913 yards receiving. So Cincinnati's going to be all right offensively. Now, defensively, this is where they might take a step back. And I'm going to be looking very well in their first game. They got to replace 6 guys that went to the NFL. But that's all right. They got a veteran D tackle, Malik Vaughn, coming back, experience. They're going to be strong at the linebacker position. Deshaun Pace is returning. He had 94 tackles last year on the year. Jaheim Thomas is a top 5 recruit that says ready going to playmaker status, NFL talent. But Deshaun Pace's brother's coming over, transfer from Miami, Ohio, first team all back in Avon. And then in the secondary, they got another among the South Gardner too, a freshman named J.Q. Hardaway, who's 6'2", 200, 4'3" guy. Don't worry about the secondary. They're going to be a little bit of experience. But Cincinnati, make no bones. They lost a lot of talent, but they're going to be coming to Fayetteville with a very solid football team. Now, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Can I say I'm a proud alum? Can I say I can call the Hogs? First and foremost, to you, head coach Sam Pittman. Chip on your shoulder. Outstanding offensive line coach at Georgia. What you did in 3 years has been phenomenal. Going into your 3rd year, I love it. You done brought that pride back. You done brought that honor back. Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson, Fred Marshall, Kent Hatfield, Gary Anderson, Ron Calcagney, Billy Ray Smith, Danny Walters, Steve Atwater. I love it. Now we can go around and call the hugs and tucks. The big 1,500-pound hog can be looking well during games. Think about what Sam Pittman did last year. It went 8-4, won the bowl game over Penn State, but he beat Texas A&M. He beat Missouri. He beat LSU. And the thing about it, he's got a quarterback that I call is a sleeper for the Heisman Trophy. See, this goes out to you, Tim Tebow. You're going to rate KJ Jefferson as the 4th best quarterback in the SEC after last year we had 2,600 yards passing, 21 touchdowns, 4 INTs, 600 yards rushing. And then his biggest games were against Ole Miss and Alabama and close losses. That's all right, though. But think about this Arkansas team. They got a tough schedule, no question about it. But they got a lot to prove on that open day, September 3rd against Cincinnati. KJ got help. Running back position, Raheem Sanders, 578 yards. A.J. Green, 278 yards. Dominique Johnson, another 400-yard back. Think about this. Arkansas last year had 5 players that went over 500 yards, and KJ Jefferson led them with 664. The last time that happened like that in the football history of University of Arkansas, 1975. The year they went to the Cotton Bowl and beat Georgia 31-10. They go for you, Joey T. That's for you. When they had Ike Forte, Scott Bull, and Jerry Eckwood out of Brentley, Arkansas. But I've been hearing this before I get to the wide receiver position. The offensive line is going to be strong. Ricky Stromberg could have went to the league. He's back at center. Dalton Wagner is back at guard. Both NFL guys. But I hear people when they breaking down Arkansas in the preseason, they say, how are they going to replace Treylon Burks' production? First round pick of the Tennessee Titans in the 2022 NFL draft. No question about it. Mr. Burks had 66 receptions, over 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns. But this is Frank Pittman, who know how to recruit, who know how to coach. Don't worry, Warren Thompson is coming. Kentron Johnson is coming. Don't worry about it. Malik Hornsby is going to be a player. Don't worry about it, baby. And they got Jaden Hasselwood, who was at Oklahoma. Remember a couple years ago, he's a 5-star coming out of Cedar Grove, and he was must-see TV. Don't worry about it. The Hogs are going to be all right outside the receiver position. Then they got Trey Knox, a tight end that's coming on that level. Or we saying athletic and might be the best in the SEC. I know Georgia got a lot of tight ends. No disrespect to Brock Bowers. No disrespect to Donnell Washington. No disrespect to Rick Gilbert. But I'm telling you, Trey Knox is a player. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Eric Gregory is a very solid player returning. But I like what they got at the linebacker position. Bumper Poole last year, 125 tackles. I'm starting to making Chris Pooch Paul redshirt freshman that played a lot last year. It's going to be a player. Not a redshirt freshman, sophomore, I'm sorry. And then they got Drew Sanders. Remember him, a 5-star coming over from Alabama to transfer a Poodle. 6'5", 225. Just couldn't get on the field. You got Will Anderson. You got the Turner kid. I understand, but that's all right. Sam Pittman welcomed him with arms. And then in the secondary, they got Simeon Blair. And they got one of the best safeties, the best since Steve Atwater been at Arkansas. Jalen Caroline. No question about it. He's a football player. Plays at a very high level. So when you look at this football game, you got the Hogs playing in the tough SEC. You got Cincinnati. Everybody's saying they're going to take a step back. It's going to be a game for ages. It's going to be rocking up there in Fayetteville. The Hogs are going to be calling. So my final preview of this game is going to be Arkansas 31, Cincinnati 24. I just think Arkansas right now is the more experienced team and they got the better quarterback. I think Cincinnati, granted, they're coming into the game, they still have talent, but you lost too much last year. But it's going to be a very excellent football game. Arkansas 31, Cincinnati 24, hard fought. And we're going to see what type of team they're going to have coming into 2022. Sam Pittman, I love you. Thank you, God, for restoring the legacy, the history, and respect back to the Arkansas Razorback football program. A team that's going to be dangerous in the SEC West. And my final words. See, when you out there trying to talk about a program, see, I'm going to call you out again. It's a radio station in Clemson. 104.5 called The Roar. I remember when Sam Pittman got the job. And how them personalities made fun of Sam Pittman. They made fun of his speech. They made fun of him getting the job. But how does times turn when you talk about somebody, it turns around and bites you in the butt. Clemson Nation ain't thinking about that right now. But Sam Pittman, thank you, man. Restoring the football history at the University of Arkansas. If you like the video, please come in and share it. Arkansas 31, Cincinnati 24. That's my prediction. I'm Vincent Turner here, 100 yards football. Peg, soy, Razorback Nation.